So I want to show in this video how the tank is installed and all the rainwater harvesting system is plumbed. Hey chicken, it's plumbed into it. So here we go. So basically, how I have done it is that I want this 1100 gallon tank to hold rainwater because our well doesn't have enough water. It's a very shallow well, so I'm drip feeding the shallow well. I'm going to hard plump it. For now it's a hose. I'm going to hard plump it, but I'm dripping it into this, so to have some alternate water source when there is less rain. See, it's dripping it, and that is good enough for the shallow well, that it can help to add to the storage of water. And rainwater is coming from the rainwater gutter. I have plumbed it with a 4-inch hard PVC, so it will last for a long time. Hello goats, how are you? How's it going? Taking a little walk? Yeah? Hello little kitty. Hey kitty cat. Trying to go and catch some snakes for us, okay? Yeah? Go and catch some snakes for us. Alright? Okay, sorry, I got distracted. That's the old tank. But anyway, that's the rain gutter right there. I'm going to add more gutters. This is about 500 square feet of rainwater. I have put gutter guard on the top. You see that? So the leaves will not fall inside. The leaves will be just sliding over it because the tree is right here, and I don't want the leaves to clog the gutters up. And you can see I have plumbed the 4-inch PVC using a downspout that goes into a 280 gallon IBC tote. And the IBC tote is plumbed into the big 1100 gallon tank. So the rainwater will supplement the tank's water and keep it topped up. You can see it's catching a lot of rain, and the level. So that's the level I created, and you can see the water level using that tube. That tube I have hooked up in that fashion. So you see that the plumbing of the hose is in such a way that when the water level goes up in the tank, the level also goes up in the tube. That's physics. Water level, because of gravity, the water level is always the same equal level, vertical. So we can see the level from using this tube, right? Very simple idea, but it works. And then I have plumbed that going to the house, right? And before it goes to the house, it's going to a pressure tank. Sorry. Oops, I dropped my phone. All right, I hooked up a pressure tank, so to provide pressure to the house, because I'm using a different tank for this, because it will not provide water for the kitchen or drinking water. I have isolated that this into, since it has rainwater, I have isolated that into its own piping, plumbed it separately so it won't contaminate the drinking or the kitchen water, and it will go directly into the rest of the house except the kitchen and the drinking water. So it's very safe. Very good. The best water for bathing is rainwater, right? So, and rainwater is very good for plants, right? Rainwater has a lot of things that is good for health, right? So that's why, and that's how I plumbed it. From the pressure tank goes into the house, and I have put check valves to make sure there is no siphon, there's no back flow of the water. Hello little puppies, taking a break. It's hot, huh? Yep. Hello Abby, what's up big boy? How's it going? Yeah, resting. All right. Oh wow, little boy, you're a big old boy, huh? He's just 150 pounds. It's a big bear. He's a guardian dog. He guards our farm. Very, very strong, very nice, happy little puppy. See that? That's how he guards me. He stands near my leg all the time. He puts his body to make sure I'm always there with him, and he's there with me. So that's how it goes. All right. That's the well. That's a shallow well. That I have a pump in there that pulls everything, the water out. This goes to the kitchen. So this one you see is a huge tank because a shallow well. It needs a bigger tank. It doesn't have much water. So 80-gallon pressure tank that stores all the well water. All the filter system is there, sediment filter and carbon filter. Also for drinking, I have another 5-stage filter in the house for drinking. So that is the well house for the shallow well, which also goes to the kitchen, and the drinking water. The drinking water setup is actually inside the house. So in the cold it won't freeze, and that's how it looks. It's a 5-stage RODI, reverse osmosis system. And one line goes to my fish tank, one line goes to the kitchen. For drinking, it has a pressure tank because the kitchen has its own little faucet for drinking water. So that's a 5-gallon pressure tank for drinking water. So drinking water is supplied about 30 feet into the kitchen faucet, a separate tap for drinking water. So it's total isolation of rainwater from the system, and the well water, which is filtered using the RO system, the 5-stage system, and also is filtered. Hello, little turtle. Yeah, he's an amphibian. That's why he doesn't have much water, but he goes on the rocks and play. I'm going to buy him a bigger tank soon, but for now, has a little green turtle. He's a ninja turtle and also a yogi. He's a very smart little thing. He comes when we call. All right, so all the puppies are relaxing. All right, so that's the pump house, and I showed you the filter, the 5-stage filter for drinking water, shallow well, the cistern or the storage tank, the 1100 gallon, the IBC tote. Why did I put an IBC tote, right? So why did I put it? The question is, the main reason I put the IBC tote is so that there are some system called first flush. What it does is that it flushes the water out for the first few minutes of the rain, so that it doesn't contaminate with leaves and sediments. But the first flush system is actually wasting rainwater. Otherwise, that water is very useful for plants. Plants love this because the first flush will have a lot of sediments that plants love. So instead of wasting rainwater, I want to reuse the first flush water. So instead of flushing it out through a first flush, this is something I kind of improvised. I invented this system where it will go to a IBC container, so it doesn't flush anything out. It will store the water in there, and the sediments will be about 2 feet deep on the bottom. So you see, I have plumbed a hole through here that goes to the big storage cistern, but from here down is a sediment. So what I can do, like every month or so, I can flush it. I can flush it and attach a hose and provide that water to my plant, and plants will love it. So I don't have to flush the big tank because that is a lot of water wasted. And I don't have to have a first flush system because this will act as a proxy first flush system. So that is the reason I have this IBC tote as a mid-tier, as a middleware, you can say, to catch sediments and keep it there, and only let the good water from the top flow into it. It flows by gravity. It's all simple. I plumbed it, hole sawed it. With the hole saw, made a hole, put a union, and I plumbed it. It goes down into the ground because I did not want any obstruction when I walk. So it's going under the ground and then goes back into the big cistern. The water storage tank is called a cistern, and goes into it. So that's where the rainwater is coming into it. When it rains, it's a lot of water. It feels like a tap, a high pressure tap. That's how effective the system works. So I have a drip from the shallow well, dripping continuously. I could have put a timer, but why to waste a timer? This flow I have adjusted as per the recovery rate of the shallow well, so well doesn't get dry. And this is coming into the cistern from the rainwater IBC tank that acts as my first flush storage system, not a first flush system. It doesn't flush anything out. So I can use this water for very nutritious purposes, like to irrigate and water my plants that will enjoy the nutrition of the sediments. So anything in nature you can reuse, and you don't have to buy many things, and you can be sustainable, right? Because nature provides organic waste as fertilizer, as compost, as fertilizer, as nutrition. So why not use it, right? So that's how you do. You recycle what comes out of nature and you reuse that for your purpose. So that's how the system looks like. Now I'm going to connect more gutters on the other side of the house to join into it. I have to put a T, and I have to finish that on the other side, and then I'll have about 1500 square feet of rainwater to be stored. With present system about 500 feet of the roof, this cistern gets almost half full in few days of rain. So it's a very good rainwater catchment system to implement. So once again, this is how it is. A shallow well pumps water into a big pressure tank, 80 gallon, goes only to the house, only to the kitchen and the drinking water. So it's isolated, it's on its own plumbing, and I have put check valves so nothing is flowing back, no risk there, and multiple check valves, not just one. And I also have a TDS meter to monitor the TDS, total dissolved solid, should be always 0, or at least acceptable range within 100 or 200. So I know when the water is getting contaminated by any reason whatsoever. That's my monitoring system. It's a TDS monitor I have in the house. So that's how it is. So that pump house provides water for the kitchen and drinking. This little pump house right there with a pressure tank, provides water for the rest of the house. Shower, laundry, all that comes out of this big cistern, right? That's the water we use for most of the house, is the rainwater, and partly the shallow well water. So between the rainwater and the shallow well water, that's what supplies the house. So that's how the entire system looks like. You see. That's how the entire system looks like. So it's a hybrid system. It's not a single rainwater harvesting system, because I can have a hybrid. I have a shallow well, which produces less water but does produce water. I have rainwater harvesting infrastructure set up, so I can harvest rainwater. So it's a hybrid between the well and the rain that produces very good water for the things you need to do, and it's very sustainable on the long run. And you can put more big storage water tank and hook them up in parallel, and you can have more capacity. So that's what my goal is. By next year, I'm going to put one more cistern, about 2,000 gallon, increase the capacity to 3,000 gallons. So I don't have to have much rain. I can have rain like once in 2 months and still be okay. So that's how it turned out to be. You can see it's installed with slag, which is the material, the aggregate I used. It's very solid, almost like concrete. Once you tamper it down, it provides a very good support So I suggest you guys should use slag as a substrate for your foundation for huge tanks like this. So it will be always be strong on the foundation. It won't sink. It will be very strong and also level. That's very important. The tank should be level. And I put blocks to prevent any aggregate washing away in the rain. So so that's what I have. So I don't need any small tanks anymore. I don't have to have a small containers or barrels anymore like those, which is what I was using before. I'm totally dependent on this. Hey big goat, hey big boy, come on, say hi. So these are the goat. There's the female goat. A gallon of milk right there. She's carrying. She's hauling a gallon of milk. Hey goat, come here. Come on, say hi. Well, but that's our farm. The farm friends. They're all in harmony, happy. So that's how it goes. And that's called a naked neck chicken. It's a unique breed called a naked neck or a turkin. It's also called a turkin chicken. It's funny how many breeds of chicken you can find. The uncommon ones. These are persimmon trees. These are persimmon. I have sprayed some neem oil on it because some beetles were eating it. So neem oil with little bit of dishwashing soap just to mix the oil in the water will really help with any beetles or any pest on the plant. So neem oil you can buy online, comes from the neem tree. It's very natural, non-toxic. But beetles, you take care of beetles, bugs, grasshoppers, other pests that can infest plants and trees. You can use neem oil. Very sustainable, very cheap. You use 1 tablespoon per gallon. Is that so? It's very cheap. This is a plum tree. So anyway, this was a tour of the irrigation system. I just got distracted to show you my farm, which I'll show more later. But you can see the pump is running. The pump is pushing the water into the pressure tank. Right there. You see the pump? So that's how it is. Thank you very much. I hope it helps to understand how to do it. Until next time, keep going, keep doing things, you learn more, right?